Business intelligence is actually a very powerful tool in enabling the companies to understand their consumers. What the business intelligence tools does is that it helps you to associate objects with what the consumer wants. Now, if you were to separate the market research and the experimental choice product approach, you realize that all these are essentially part and parcel of the business intelligence. Business intelligence will be able to derive accurate hypotheses, accurate conclusions from market research. It is able to correct the bias in market research to enable you to have a more appropriate view of the market needs. At the same time, if you were to offer products to randomly to everyone, it might not be what you'll be looking into when you're doing the product launch itself. So what happens is that business intelligence allows you to mine certain behaviors within the product spending patterns, the consumer spending patterns, and allows you to link different totally unrelated objects together. Now, the typical examples in business intelligence, which is made famous by the market basket analysis, is the beer and diapers concept, where the beer and diaper in the supermarket are typically found together. Because what happens is that in the earlier days of supermarket, the idea is to optimize the retail space, and that the beer and diaper are typically found together in the same basket itself. So that is a rather unusual finding, but one of the more interesting finding in consumer market is that typically whenever for example, you see a credit card purchase, typically, for example, you see a suit purchase. Now, if the person is buying a suit, you realize that he probably needs some accessories to go with the suit. So what happens is that companies can make full use of these opportunities to offer certain offers to the consumer itself and test what kind of consumers will actually take up the offers, and thus better optimize your marketing strategies as well as the channels in which your shops and merchants can actually target their products at the customer itself. Now, BI provides a very good tool to allow the users or the banks, the financial service industry, to target these customers with accurate precisions as well as good return on investment. Now, the limitation of BIs is that, before you can do anything with business intelligence, you need to have data. And in a region like Asia Pacific, data is of a very important issue because different countries have very different languages. Now, for a very good example is that a Taiwan data or Taiwan marketing projects will look very different from one that is conducted in China itself. At the same time, the same market survey done in Taiwan and done in China might not mean the same, because the way the surveys questions are being done, the wordings are being used are very different. So what happens is that the main limitation to business intelligence is data. If you do not have data, there's very little that business intelligence can provide for you other than providing you with suggested ways to get data and how should you collect the data itself. And the other problem with business intelligence is that very few people understand the importance of business intelligence or even understand how business intelligence works. Now, the typical saying in business intelligence is that there's the law of large number and there's the law of small numbers. Typically, most people will fall into either categories. If you are a person of law of large number, well, business intelligence will easily convince this group of people because they are used to looking at averages on the overall trend rather than those who believe in the law of small numbers, where they look at a few recurring numbers and they guess, right, the next one is this. So business intelligence is actually a tool that is user dependent as well. If you are a person who understands business intelligence, the use of it, how to use it to your advantage, business intelligence is a very powerful tool. And it is only limited by the capabilities of the users itself. Analytics is actually a part of business intelligence. The business intelligence process is an end-to-end process, all right from the beginning of data collections to the end product of model testing and as well as model validations. Analytics is the final I could say that it is usually the second last step of the whole process itself. Analytics is basically building mathematical or statistical models to simulate the behavior in the real world itself. Basically, we call it model building. Now, business intelligence has a few sections. For example, we have MIS, Management Information System. We have things like routine reporting, telling you how market is behaving. We have campaign reports, telling you how campaigns are going, whether the marketing strategy has worked. We are selling clients from the neighboring banks. Now, all these things are mainly reportings. Business intelligence incorporate a lot of reportings, but reports in itself doesn't give you a hint on how the future looks like. It doesn't forecast how the future will be. It doesn't tells you how does my customer look like. It doesn't tells you, for example, whether or not your strategy today will work tomorrow, whether or not the product that you're providing appeals to the customer itself. So what happens is that analytics allows you to actually test your hypothesis, allows you to target customers that you want to target, allows you to better optimize your revenue at a cheaper cost. So analytics provides you with an excellent platform to know what you are supposed to do, in which you are optimizing on your return on investment. Business intelligence without analytics is basically what we address as just merely a reporting system. It is just mainly a way for managers to understand what is going on on the ground. It doesn't allow the manager to take a proactive stance in managing the business and install turning up selling, cross-selling, and improving the volume of sales in the market itself.